The mind-body problem is a long-standing philosophical issue concerning the relationship between the mind and the body. It asks whether the mind and the body are separate entities or whether they are inexorably linked.
Most of the people who are interested in the mind-body problem accept that that is the mind-body problem. How can we unify our everyday, introspective, personal, first-personal sense of ourselves with the world that science tells us is there?
On one hand, some argue that the mind and body are separate entities, known as dualism. Dualists claim that the mind is an immaterial entity that can exist without the body, and vice versa. They argue that mental events, such as thoughts and emotions, cannot be reduced to physical processes in the brain. René Descartes was a famous proponent of this view, famously stating, "I think, therefore I am." On the other hand, others argue that the mind and body are not separate, but rather they are interconnected and interact with each other, known as materialism. Materialists claim that mental events can be reduced to physical processes in the brain, and that the mind is a product of brain activity. They argue that mental events, such as thoughts and emotions, are caused by physical processes in the brain. This view is supported by modern neuroscience research, which has shown that brain activity is involved in all aspects of human experience. So, what is the solution to the mind-body problem? The answer lies in a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between the mind and body. While it is clear that the mind and body are intimately linked, it is also clear that they are not the same thing. Mental events cannot be reduced to physical processes in the brain, and yet they are clearly influenced by physical processes in the body. Similarly, physical events in the body, such as injury or illness, can have a profound impact on mental states. The solution to the mind-body problem lies in understanding that the mind and body are two sides of the same coin, and that they cannot be fully understood in isolation from each other. Mental events are a product of physical processes in the brain, but they cannot be reduced to these processes alone. Similarly, physical events in the body are intimately linked to mental states, but they cannot fully explain them. Therefore, the solution to the mind-body problem is a kind of middle ground, which recognizes that the mind and body are deeply interconnected and cannot be fully understood in isolation from each other. This view is known as embodied cognition, which sees the mind as emerging from the interaction between the brain, body, and environment. This perspective recognizes that mental states are influenced by physical processes in the body, but also acknowledges that mental events cannot be fully explained by physical processes alone. In conclusion, the mind-body problem is a long-standing philosophical issue that has fascinated scholars for centuries. While there are compelling arguments on both sides, the solution lies in a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between the mind and body. By recognizing that the mind and body are deeply interconnected, we can move beyond the dualistic view of the mind and body and embrace a more integrated understanding of what it means to be human.